Humans have been on the galactic stage for what most species would consider several lifetimes, and they have established themselves as a core member of our galactic community, began the history teacher. He was a pallavian, an avian race which was first uplifted from pre-sentience by the humans when they first discovered the means to do so several hundred years ago. Their ingenuity and discipline as a people has brought them far, economically, politically, but also militarily. That was also the main reason they expanded as far as they did, as early as they did, through military force. That is how their state was like in the beginning, under the leadership of emperors. Wait, emperor? I thought they had a democracy, asked one of the more slow students of the class. How he passed primary school is still unbeknownst to him. Yes, that they do. But the Terran Federation only came to pass after the Great Scourge of 2541, after galactic-wide peace was declared. To reiterate, so everyone is on the same level, human culture was always, even under their unified government, varied, split apart from one another, so to say. They have hundreds of subcultures, nations, nationalities, and so on. But the culture, the nation that led humanity into their age of FTL travel, stepped back from the galactic stage after their homeland on Terra was utterly destroyed during the invasion of the interdimensional beings that we now only call the Scourge. Their nation historically had a record of rebuilding itself from near total destruction more than once, and with their technology they had at their disposal, every other species thought they would go on and recover and rebuild. But that never came to pass. Instead, their emperor declared that it was their time to finally resign, that other nations should now step into their place, and that they would not rebuild their homeland only to see it in flames once again, when the time inevitably came, as history has proven over and over again. He gathered his fleets, and, surprisingly most, but not all of them, heeded his words, and they left beyond the reaches of our galaxy to find a new home. Now they are slowly being forgotten, with not many witnesses left alive that have lived through their rule. And who is this nation supposed to be? Asked another student mockingly. Isn't it obvious that that's just some sort of cover-up for a coup or something? Do not think our emperor would have given up his throne to a meager uprising, shouted one of the Pallavian classmates. Since the Pallavians pretty much owed their existence to the humans from back then, there were still a lot of families that taught their children to think this way, with the human emperor as their great leader and savior. Most only look down upon this, but is never openly condemned by any official source. Calm down, everyone, calm down. We are in a history class, so we will stick to the known facts before we discuss any hypotheticals, alright? But to answer your question, since the hundreds of years all of this happened, there have been occurrences. Things that led to the unwritten rule that you should never say their name out loud. What sort of occurrences? Say the name in the mirror 3 times and suddenly the Emperor stands behind you? Spat the student. It first started in the galactic nexus net. Everyone thought it was some sort of sick joke, but every time their name was mentioned in some sort of media, comment sections were flooded by trolls proclaiming the site, post or video to be owned by their state. When that finally stopped and everyone was relieved the joke had died out, suddenly there were hacking attempts all over the net. Most of them were successful, even. Either sites were translated into their native language, or they were completely reconstructed to spew out what seemed like propaganda for some sort of expansionist agenda. All of this didn't make sense to us at that time. After all, the Emperor had sworn off such aspirations. This trolling seemed to continue for another good 18 years, until suddenly there was reports of actual sightings. First, there were videos which apparently got hijacked by masked soldiers when someone put the name of their nation through the mud. Of course, everyone believed this to be a hoax. That was until one fateful day a year after the first sightings. A Malakui minister, a Toxoid species constantly in rivalry with humanity, was holding a speech on their capital world, in front of millions, and in front of cameras. He was going on a tirade about human tyranny they had to live under on their Memorial Day, at least until his chest was ripped open by a large caliber bullet. Everyone started to panic until suddenly someone had picked up the transponder from the minister and demanded their attention. From what I have been told personally, the person that spoke seemed to wear military equipment that resembled that of the late 21st century of Earth. Most notably attached to his helmet was a 4-visored night vision device, which was folded down to cover his eyes. Then he said only one sentence. "Do not say our name ever again, or it will be the last thing you will ever say," and disappeared into thin air. Many have speculated if they have some sort of holographic technology that makes them invisible, unless their equipment looked the way it does without having to actually forego the benefits of more modern armors, or if they develop some sort of instant personal teleportation technology. Most students of the class look somewhat frightened, some more than others, one even nearly cowering below his desk. Except for one student, of course. And you want me to believe this edgy fucking bullshit? That's something you scare 5th graders with. And even if they were real, how the fuck would the stupid Germans even know I call them sons of... He was cut short, when suddenly all lights in the entire building went out. Panic started to break out amongst the already frightened students, when suddenly 4 green dots lit up in front of the door. Those that didn't already weep for their life fell completely silent. "Sag das nochmal. Aber sprech Deutsch, du Hurensohn."